Okay, I'm back for part two of getting to the moon and back again. So I basically just clicked right in front of our ship, and I'm going to add a maneuver. So I'm adding some prograde here towards the moon. So we already had it set as a target, and I immediately actually get a encounter. And this is the oh man, this is perfect actually. How much time do I have until maneuver? I have 5 minutes. Okay, so I have to explain this within 5 minutes. So what this is going to do is I found a nice maneuver that's going to swing me out, as you can see in this yellow arrow. So in 5 minutes and 39 seconds. I will have to burn out here, and at this point you see moon encounter. What that means is I'm actually going to get sucked out of the Kerbin gravitational pull and go into the moon gravitational pull here. Because the moon is traveling on this nice neon green line. So right here you can see my periapse of the moon is actually going to be 992 kilometers away from the moon. And what I like to do is then at this point I could do a maneuver and swing back. So at this point it's what it's saying is I'm going to go into the moon's gravitational pull, but I'm going to have so much velocity that I'm actually not going to get into orbit of the moon, because I'm going to actually moon escape here and then follow this green line, which shows me actually returning right into Kerbin. So if I just pulled off this maneuver right here, which is like a 3-minute burn, which is a pretty intense burn, that means I would be able to go to the moon and return back to Kerbin without doing anything else. So what we kind of want to do here is bring this periapse of the moon in closer. So if I go further away, it takes it further away. So if I go faster, so now I'm at to 335. Give it a little bit more. I'm at to 314. But you can see it's making me have to burn for longer and longer. So I don't know if this rocket's going to give us enough fuel to burn out there like this. So what we can do is then see about how things work in other directions. You know, where was the moon going to be when we get over here? So what this is showing is when I get here, the moon's going to be all the way over here. So that's not good. So I want to keep spinning this around, and that's why the sweet spot seems to be over here. You can see, oh, when I'm here, it's going to be there. So that's why if I go here and I slow down, or if I speed up, see, that means I'm going past it and then I'm hitting it on the way in this way. So that's why it's taken so much fuel. So that's why like I was saying, the equatorial orbit really, really helps. Oh, this is what we want. We want to catch it on the way in. So this should be nice, and I have 2 minutes to set up because I've been chatting away. And yeah, actually, that shows me going right into it. So what I want to kind of do is go right around it like this. Alright, well, still, this is how you get the encounter, and let's see how this one goes. I'm still not sure I set myself up in a nice enough orbit. Like I said, I'm burning extra fuel I'm going to have to burn extra fuel to get this to work. So let's go ahead and get set. Turn myself around, which is probably going to be aiming at the moon, which is nice. We see in the distance. And I'm going to try to catch up to 1 minute. So we're at 2. I'm going to warp ahead a little bit. We're going to go to 1. I'm going to be dangerous. I'm going to try to make it to about 20 seconds. And then bring us out. And then I'm going to try to position myself now. Okay, we still have 10 seconds, and I'm almost in the crosshairs. Yeah, 3 minutes of burn. I don't have that kind of burn, and we don't have RCS fuel, because that's where RCS. Now we're gonna start burning. Okay, it didn't understand a full burn. It was going off of my last known throttle, which was just that little tiny amount. So okay, now we ditched that last section. I gotta stay in these crosshairs. I'm gonna throttle down a bit. No reason to just continue to burn like that. 2 seconds, 1 second. And I'm gonna stop the burn and see where we're at. So okay, we're not quite there, so this is why you gotta be in this map. I'm gonna burn a little bit more, and X, because I'm still burning velocity forward. That's what we wanted, burn a little bit more. and X. And when I say burn a little bit more, I mean barely tap the shift key. And there we go. That means we hit an encounter. So I'm going to close my maneuver. We have plenty of fuel left. Plenty of fuel. We're going to do a really cool loop-de-loop kind of. This is where you can see that we lose the moon. We get sucked in by the moon. So we get pulled back, but then we still have enough to escape and come back and hit Kerbin. So we made it. I'm going to warp out a little bit and kind of watch us. When I warp, we're going to be leaving Kerbin. That looks nice with the sun. Goodbye, Space Center. Hello, Moon. Alright, this is good. This is good. So I'm going to slow down. Let's go back out into our map view. And I'm going to try to add a maneuver at our Kerbin apoapse again, because I just like to do that. And I'm going to try to bring this moon periapse in now. So I'm going to slow down a little bit, and slowing down does that, but the problem is it's below me. So I'm going to have to kind of do this shift here. I'm going to have to bring down. So as you can see, I was up there, and I'm coming back down here. So now my periapse is at 300. So instead of being up here at this little yellow line, I've shifted down to this purple line. So I still need to back myself off more. Okay, so now we're at 215. Let's try to get some more. I want to get into a closer orbit, and actually we are shooting for going in a lunar orbit. So what I was doing here is, this is just called a slingshot move, which basically I'd be able to go in, snag some science at 168K, and burn back home and hit back into Kerbin. I actually pushed myself out a little bit too far. You see, if I bring this back right at this point, I'm actually going to swing around at about 220K, swing back in to Kerbin's gravity, and get sucked back into the planet's atmosphere, and hopefully our parachutes would deploy and save us. But what we're wanting to do in this case is actually get into a lunar orbit. So I have to continue to click on this maneuver and really just bring my engines back. So when I'm going into a lunar orbit, I don't mess with this. What I do is I wait until I get into my actual lunar orbit. So let's warp forward, moon and back again. And let's go ahead and see how this looks. We can watch it from here, so we can see we're spinning around. And we are now in the orbit. No, we're not. I lied. Almost. Looked like I jumped ahead. See, you can kind of see it from this view. It looks pretty cool. But here you can see it as well. So, see how that kind of plays out? There's Kerbin. There's this. When you hit the M key, you're still seeing it all from here. But you just get all the maneuvers and all that. So what I'm doing is trying to hit this moon encounter. And I'm just playing with the warp keys to get it just right. And then there we go. So now it flipped over, and this is our moon encounter. So now it's much easier for me to manage. I'm just going to hit the periapse of the moon. It's just the opposite. I usually go with that periapsis of Kerbin. And I'm going to back out. As you can see, instead of this blue line, as I pull back, it's creating this yellow line, which is now a moon orbit. So I want to keep bringing it in. I want to go ahead and try to set up a nice orbit in this one maneuver. I don't want to have to keep doing all kinds of crazy maneuvers. Which a maneuver on the moon is you want to get pretty close to collect all the science. So I'm going to go ahead and try to bring myself all the way into... Let's bring ourselves into 50 and see if 50 is enough. I'm kind of curious of what's lower orbit and what's close enough to get the EVA science from all the biomes. Actually, I'm going to go the other direction. Let's try it all the way out at like 100, because let's not burn extra fuel on this. So it's showing, it seemed like, oh man, that's a crazy maneuver. I backed off a bunch, but I'm only going to need a 6-second burn. So that's the great thing about space. I got plenty of fuel for that. So I'm going to warp here so I can actually see what's going on. Oh no, I can see what's going on here. So let's warp and enjoy the view. I was warping pretty quick. We're now, instead of an hour, we're at 42 minutes, 40 minutes. And then 30 minutes, 20 minutes. It does go from kind of fast to really fast. So we're at 20, 15. At 10 minutes, I'm gonna be safe and go ahead and set myself up now. So let's turn around for the burn. You can see I'm turning myself to face. Let's see. There it is. So, yep, because as you can tell, just like in the map, I'm saying that I have to go by this button here. So if you're pulling this to get your maneuver to happen, you're going to have to realize when you go to the nav bar, that's what you're aiming at. So really all I'm having to do is kill my velocity. Retrograde burn. And it's going to be a 6-second burn in 7 minutes. So let's, now that we're set, I'm going to speed forward. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow down, and speed up, and slow down, because now it doesn't matter, it's not that critical. So I'm going to burn out for this so I can actually see what happens. I'm going to speed up, speed up, speed up, so you can see that this orbit's changing, because right now I would escape and just go back into the orbit. What we want is for this to go away, and I want to go in moon orbit. And then I'm going to slow it down, because that was going crazy fast. So I have my finger on the shift key and X key. I'm going to speed up a little bit. So this is the one we're going to want to watch. I'm going to get this guy to 100 and hit X. 110 is good enough. And we'll close this. And then just like we learned in the last episode about how to do our orbits, I'm going to spin over to this periapsis first and stop, and I'm going to aim at my, that looks like it has an X on it, but that's not actually my retrograde. Is this retrograde here? How am I doing on fuel? I'm doing great on fuel. So now if I burn just a little bit, I should bring my periapsis here is going to stay, but my apoapsis is going to drop. So a little bit more, a little bit more. And we're going to just go into a 100K orbit on both sides. So that's dropping, and that's dropping. So that's the one I got to watch here, because I don't want to go under 100. That's why it was good that I had 110. It gave me that little extra here. So now it's 90 by 116. So perfect for my experiment of, does 100K make a difference? So let's go back in. No stress. We got plenty of fuel to get home. Oh, what's that? It's one of my some of my other satellites or something around the moon. That's pretty neat. Or just some floating debris. It'd be my luck to fly out here and with like the vastness of space, me like run into one of my, you know, fuel boosters I didn't care about or threw off into space. So yeah, back to the mission. Let's collect our science. I'm gonna rotate my ship for better view. Better viewing pleasure with the Kerbin in the background. So this is, let's go ahead and try to observe the material bay. I have science. I'm going to get science. Let's get some mystery goo. More science. I'll take it. It's not a lot, but I'll take it. Log pressure. I don't come to the moon very often, so I do expect... No, there's no pressure, obviously. Oh, look at this. I have not brought my gravioli detector out here. So, see, gravity scan while in space high over the moon's midlands. So, 110K, 111K, this is fine. You don't need to shoot for getting any closer. You're going to get your midland report. I am going to... Ooh, I'm going to keep this data. I realized I left. I got a little transmitter, but I left my... Oh, I don't. Oh, that's right. I was playing basic ship. I didn't put any solar panels. The nice thing is these engines will actually create energy. So I am going to quick save. Don't forget about that. F5 is quick save. Just to do a little test, and I'm going to review this data. And if you're not sure if you're going to make it home and you don't care if they don't make it, but you still really want the science, I can go ahead and transmit 24 science right now. And what that's going to do is extend our communicator, and transmit that back home, but it killed our electric charge. So the problem with this ship, as you can see, is, for one, I didn't get to send all that out, is now you're dead, and you can't move. I'm trying to go up, down, all that stuff. But what I can do is give myself a little boost, which probably, I almost launched myself right into the moon, but I gave myself a little bit of power. So that is what you do not want to do. So that's the fear of transmitting. So it's good to take it, but it'll kill your power, and then you're just dead out of the water. So my suggestion is don't transmit. Let's hold down F9. That's what's going to reload your game. Hopefully it loads it to the appropriate point, which it did, which was right here. So I don't want to kill my electric charge by transmitting. So I'm going to just, what you do is, if I log that data, I'm going to just act like I'm overwriting it, is I'm going to go ahead and keep that data, and my Kerbal will take that back with him, and I don't have to spend the money on it now. But the big tip here, the big tip of the day, is get your Kerbal out, just like you do in Kerbin, over each area and get an observation. So this is, well, high over the moon, so we want to get an observation. So maybe for the Kerbal we will have to actually get into a closer orbit, because what I'm looking for is getting the EVA reports over the different biomes. So I'm going to go ahead and board the ship, hitting the F key, which will automatically store that report, that EVA report, in the command pod. You can't log your temperature. This thing's pretty cool. What it does is it'll display uranium and thorium hotspots. I don't really know what I would do with those yet, but I think that has to do with, you can do some mining on the planet. So look, there's a bunch of, there's thorium hotspots, whatever they are. So that's what that weird gadget does. I thought I'd throw it on here. So I'm going to try to log, no, I don't want to log that again. While I'm out here, this is what I want to do. I want to right click on my gravioli detector or whatever piece of science, and you take the data. And now when I board my ship, I actually stored that gravioli data in the capsule, which what that does is it makes me, now I can go back to this detector and log it without writing over that other one. The problem is now it looks like I can get this Midlands data again because I reset it. So let's try. So let's say I kept that data. If I EVA, it's not just an unlimited science bug, and I took that data, which you can, when I try to get back in the ship, it usually would say, when I review the data, I'm going to have 60 here, and I keep it, 0 here, so I'm going to discard that data, and there's another 60 here. When you take this back, since they're both for the Highlands, you're not going to get 120 data. You're going to get the 60, and then you're going to get this little shaded leftover one from that bonus one. But it's still good to keep them both. That's why it's actually letting me, is because it's gonna, I am benefiting from that second report. But you're not actually getting 60 for both, if that makes any sense. So let's see if we can observe some more goo. I don't think so. Yeah, see, for this, for example here, we get another 5.3. Or actually we don't. This one got 5.3, and then if I stored this, this one would get that little shaded area. Which I'm gonna reset this one. I'm not gonna waste that yet, because I think I'm gonna get in a nice orbit, so I'm gonna warp forward. Because remember when oh no, I didn't do that little burn. That's right. That was before I did the quick save. So what I'm going to do now is, since I got plenty of fuel, bring myself in close. This will look really cool as well. Alright, so I don't want to burn out, I want to burn in. And I'm going to bring myself, there's some mountains on the moon, so you don't want to bring yourself like right in there. But whoa, that was fast, or it just looked fast. Which one's going in? This one's going to go in. You don't want to go within like 10 kilometers. That's getting pretty dangerous. For now, I'm just going to say 20. Let's call 20 good. And then we'll do a test when we get over here. So where am I at now? I am at 23. So come on, Kenford, hop on out. Give me an EVA report. There we go. This is what we want. EVA report from space just above the moon's highlands. So we're going to keep that data. We're going to get in the ship. We're going to warp forward a little bit because I don't know where the biomes are. And you get out of the ship and you right click and you do an EVA report. And it's the Highlands again, so we're going to reset. We're just going to get back in the ship. We're going to warp. We're going to warp, warp, warp. And let's slow down, and we're going to EVA. And what we're trying to do is find the different biomes. So Midlands, I can't remember, was that other one the Midlands or was it the Highlands? So we'll take them both. I can always review the data. So EVA report from above the Midlands, I'd keep that. Gravity scan, EVA report from above the moon's Highlands. So we have the Highlands and the Midlands, so that's good, we picked up two. So you get the point. So find all the different biomes. I think we could move ourselves over the poles and, you know, kind of all that stuff. But again, this is a simple, let's just get to the moon and back and collect what science we can. But as I've shown, just based on the science that I've collected, even though I have a lot of this, so this is 22 different science. We're going to collect a good 50 or 60 science just off of this mission, which is a nice chunk to get some more research. And you can do the same exact thing with basically the same exact ship. You should be able to get to Minmus as well. You might need to add an extra fuel booster to get that little extra distance to Minmus. But once you're in space, like I showed you, it takes, at full burn, you got to be careful. It takes very little full burn to get yourself back into a you'll shoot yourself way out into space. So the hardest thing is getting out of the atmosphere, and you know, for moons like the moon, moons like the moon, and you have to deal with the high level of gravitational pull, where Minmus you don't have to deal with that. So let's start. Let's plan on getting home. So what you do to get home is you just click anywhere on your orbit and add some velocity, because we got to break our moon's orbit. And then as you can see, we broke our moon orbit. This is our new orbit with this little 3-second burn. The burn increases, like the more you pull that out, the more you're burning. That's what that means, like 6 seconds of fuel. And then this is going, okay, wait, what if I burn for 4 seconds or 3 seconds or 2 seconds, kind of deal like that. So what we want to do is just get enough to escape, and this moon, it's not going to be that hard. It's only 3 seconds of this fuel burst. And then I got to play with some of these, and I'm going to hit this little blue one here, because what we want to do is then burn in. We want to burn towards Kerbin, and that's going to pull us into Kerbin's atmosphere and gravitational pull. And as you can see, we have an apoapsis, but we lost our periapsis, and that means we're getting pulled into the planet. So remember, you got to shoot out and towards Kerbin. So whatever is towards Kerbin. So if you were at some other orbit, it might not necessarily be these blue icons here. It might be the pink ones. So you just got to think of that, as this is the direction that you're firing your engines. So like usually you're firing your engines forwards or backwards to go faster or slow yourself down. But sometimes you need to go left, right, up, down. Space is crazy. That's what makes this game fun. So this is it right here. We need a 7-second burn to escape and run into sorry, that's actually not enough. Oh no, that's fine. What I screwed up was when I was playing with all these. There we go. We need like an 11-second burn. 10-second burn. No, we do need more here. So yeah, we need like a 10-second burn here. The nice thing is man, once you get RCS fuel, it's going to save the day. You can go from 1,000,000 kilometers out, 1,000,000 kilometers, or 1,000,000 meters out to, you know, going into the atmosphere with minimal RCS burn once you're in space. So okay, we should have just enough. We should have 11 seconds of burn out of this. So we have 23 minutes to set our maneuver, but as you know, I'm just going to get pretty close, and we're going to warp. So we're at 22, 20, and what I do, we're all not perfect. I'm going to slow it down for a second. Is you got to remember that F5. Just do a quick save before these crazy maneuvers, because it is a pain if you've spent so much time to get so far into a mission to just lose it because you warp too fast or you get fat-fingered like I do, and you screw up, you know, hours of planning. So quick save is your friend. F9 will get you back there. See, it's nice. It's kind of following the node for me. I got a nice little swing. 2 minute, 1 minute. All right, let's slow this down. Let's just kind of get a look at what we're doing here. So as you can see, this makes sense. Like in about 1 minute, which I should be more about here, is I'm going to burn basically right at Kerbin. But this is why you got to use those maneuvers, because if you're out here just trying to wing it and all that stuff, it's great, it's fine, but only if you have unlimited fuel, which we don't. So let's warp a little bit. 50 seconds is a long time to listen to me. You listen to me enough just to figure out where we're at. So 10 seconds until the burn. You know me. Sorry, this is prettier, but I need to see what I'm doing from here. I'm going to go burn, full burn, full burn. And now I am doing actually a full burn here. Just because it's telling me 11 seconds at full burn, so I'm going to hit X. Now is where I'm going to fine tune if I have to. At hit 0, this should be good. Let me see. Let me close my maneuver. Look at that. We're going to escape here. We're going to go into a Kerbin orbit, which unfortunately isn't an orbit, which is actually fortunately what we want, and it will take us right back to the planet. So, front row seats, shall we? Oh yeah, I can't wait. This is where I want to put my little external command seat and have my Kerbin ride the rocket home. So now we're good. We have a little bit of fuel left. Look at that. This is what it comes down to. This was a pretty successful launch, but this is all the fuel I have left. So not a lot of room for mistake. I almost realized I almost had myself shoot through the moon, and this would have been hilarious because it would not have worked. I would have shot through the moon. Wow. This was close. Because while your maneuvers, be careful, because you might not notice you're bringing yourself so far to the side to where, yeah, I'm going to be in Kerbin's atmosphere and burn home if I was to burn through the moon. So that brought us in pretty close, but we are now launching away. Wow, that's cool. So now we're out of orbit. See, we're kind of just out in space at the moment. But as soon as we hit here, we're escaping from the moon, because we hit orbital velocity. That's another trick. That's one of the other things you're going to learn about is there's an orbital velocity. For Kerbin, it's about 2,500 meters per second. The moon, it's only about 590 meters per second. So you have to meet at least that kind of orbital velocity to escape. But we don't have to worry about anything. We are just riding free. No more burning vengeance. This is just what's going to happen for sure. So now we are in, as soon as that ended, we've escaped the moon. We're back in orbit with Kerbin. And let's watch it. Let's watch ourselves fly. You know, now that we're out in space, look at that. Wow, that's cool looking. Especially at that warp. Just going to let everyone enjoy that without my yappering. But yeah, you can go ahead and see if you got anything. If you got any other kind of science. Or, oh, it's because I'm warped up. If you have the warp going, you can't right-click on your stuff. And I'm like, oh, everything's broken, but my warp's up. So if you warp down, then you should be able to click on your command pod and go crew report. So, you know, hi over Kerbin, because I am in an orbit. So, no, I'm going to just recycle that. I don't need that. You know, I don't know if I actually used all this. I've got this. Yeah, so yeah, I've got a magnometer. I haven't actually taken this, so boom, that's 20 science I would have just missed out on. Log gravity data out here. Sure, I'll take another 20 science. But see, if I didn't come out here and clean these out, I wouldn't be able to do that. So that's the trick on those, is you got to make sure you EVA, and you grab it, and you take the data, and the other thing is just you don't want to accidentally, you know, float away. So make sure you quick save. Oh, you can't be on a ladder to quick save. So make sure you're in your ship, and if ever you want to EVA, this is how I say practice your EVA, is quick save and just get out of your ship and have fun, and then hit F9 to reload. Because it is very frustrating to get that down from the beginning. So you're going to EVA, and this is important, trust me, is let's try to back off. I don't even need to. I need to collect the data from the Science Junior. I'm going to remove the data. And what it's saying is now this Science Junior is now inoperable. But it doesn't matter. I have the data. Same thing for these goo containers. Let's try to collect the data. Thing is, you got to be like that. See, I fell off, so I've got to hit the R key and try to grab back on. Let's see. Okay, line myself up, shoot myself. Oh, wrong way. Bring myself in and grab. Okay. And then once I board, it stores all those experiments. See, so it got the mysterious goo and the Science Junior. It's stored in the capsule. The reason why you want to do that is when you land on Kerbin, if the mystery goo container and the Science Junior get destroyed, like say in the water or when you land, that's a bad, the science goes away. You lose that science. But if it's in the capsule, you're all good. I'm realizing I just made a mistake that might really hurt us on the way back, which would be fine. We've proven everything that we really need to prove with this this setup. Oh, lost it again. I'm trying to get to that other goo container. Other way. There we go. I'm trying to figure out what's up, what's down. It gets really wacky. Down, down, back, 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 up, up, back. Everything you got to do light, or you get light touches, gentle touches, down. See, I want to go forward. Forward is W right now, so I just want to get data, collect data, remove the data. It's now inoperable. I don't care because you can see me intently trying to get into the ship and grab. Whew! Oh, he let go. Okay, get down and get in the capsule. So what I was saying is, what I made a big mistake is I usually put a decoupler right here so I can drop my capsule off, and all I have to worry about is the capsule and the parachute. But you know, I've got a parachute, but you know, nothing like a full tank of fuel and an engine below you to blow up and ruin your day upon re-entry. So yeah, let's warp and see if that happens. To the moon and back again. I didn't say back again alive, I just said back again. Oh, we're going for a polar landing. So one thing I'm going to do is take advantage of my little bonus mod here, and I'm going to dump my fuel. That's what's going on here. So this is a fuel balancer mod, but one thing that the benefit is you can dump your fuel. I'm going to now deploy my chute. And we're going to set ourselves down nice and gentle. I'm going to shut down engine. Hopefully that helps. We're dropping through the clouds. And wow, this is... Wow, look at those ice. Those are some glaciers. I mean, some ice cliffs, glacier cliffs. I've never seen that. I mean, it's not the most beautiful. It's kind of jagged and everything, but that's a pretty neat view. I haven't seen that before. So let's set this gentle, nice and gentle on the snow. Slow it down, slow it down. Where are we? Oh, we are on the South Pole. Look at that. Don't usually plan a South Pole landing. The nice thing is very rarely do you get up to the poles. If you don't, it's another biome for science. So this would have been a great moon and back and polar exploration adventure. Look at I'm all lit up from this bright snow screen. Me and Kenford. I got to move my camera over just a little bit and I'll be next to these guys. Usually I have more than one pilot. Alright, nothing like setting it down on an engine. This is just ridiculous. That'll blow up, but the capsule should be fine. And we made it! Yeah. We're back from the moon. We lived, and all we did was lose the engine. And did you see I actually picked up data on my seismic accelerometer in my previous episodes? If you're following along, you'd know that my science plane has a seismic accelerometer out at the my space station. I also just collected some science there, so not too shabby. I'm going to collect a crew report. I've already done it, so let's go ahead and EVA. I can't, the hatch is blocked. Electrical power, go. No, I'm burning it. Can I get out now? No. Can I get out now? I think he's stuck. I don't think he's getting out for any science here. I'm trying to rocket back and forth, but I'm running out of... I landed the wrong way, guys. I can't get out of my ship. Nonetheless, we collected a ton of data, and my Science Junior and Goo Factories, Goo Lab experiments or whatever, did survive the crash as well. So no need to really do the EVA in this case, but it did work out. So let's recover vessel and see what science we got from the moon and back, and call this a success. I just got 249 science from a trip to the moon and back. And if you guys do the same exact thing and you haven't gone to the moon before, you're going to get a lot more, because half of the science that was out there I didn't collect. Also, did you notice this was just for the video? There's like 10 biomes or something like that on the moon, and I collected 2. So you could get probably a good 500, 600 science for not landing, but flying to the moon and flying back. So I hope these tips helped. Until next time, I'm Monte. Peace out.